Straight ahead on CCX News, the lowdown on LimeBike, how the first test run went with the company's dockless bike service in Golden Valley. Plus, grocery store competition aided with wine and spirits. We'll look at the new addition to a Crystal grocery store. But first, a project with a name and plenty of mystery surrounding it. Now, there's a new development surrounding Brooklyn Park's Project Hotdish. CCX News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Delane Cleveland. A mysterious project that has generated a lot of buzz and feedback in Brooklyn Park now all of a sudden is on hold. According to Brooklyn Park officials, the city will take no action this year on the so-called Project Hotdish. A developer based out of Indiana had proposed a fulfillment center for a 72-acre site near Highway 169 and 109th Avenue near the Champlin border. The building would be the largest of its kind in the state. It would host an unnamed Fortune 500 company. Nearby residents have raised concerns about the project and its size. The City Council was supposed to vote on the project November 26th. That agenda item has now been removed until further notice. Meanwhile, just as we went to air Friday evening, there was a new development in the search for a Brooklyn Park stabbing suspect. Police say on Wednesday they responded to reports of an assault in the 7500 block of Kentucky Avenue. There they found a woman with multiple stab wounds to the head and face. Now, police say the suspect, 21-year-old Junior Lawrence, has been located. Police found his car early Friday morning, then late Friday afternoon, police arrested him. Police say Lawrence and the stabbing victim had a prior relationship. The injured woman is expected to recover. Charges are pending and the investigation continues. In Osseo, the process has started to hire a fire chief. The employment agreement with the city's current chief, Pat McGrain, runs through the end of the year. It's possible McGrain could be hired to fill the position permanently. This week, the City Council approved a timeline to fill the position. Applications will be due November 26th. So far, the city is looking internally and not yet considering outside candidates. Natural disasters can strike just about anywhere and anytime, and people need to be prepared. That was FEMA's message at the American Public Works Association conference held at the Earl Brown Center Friday. Regional FEMA Administrator James Joseph talked to public works professionals, including those in our area, about what local cities can do to be prepared for disaster.
It's very important that we ensure that we, as the public safety community and first responders, are prepared as we can be to ensure that we're responding to the needs of our communities and our citizens and help them recover from any event.
One tip Joseph gave for citizens: make sure you have appropriate levels of flood insurance. Many homeowners' insurance policies don't cover flood damage. The latest round of new features at a local grocery store is at Cub Foods in Crystal. Thursday, managers cut the ribbon on a new wine and spirits store inside the Cub Foods Crystal location. This is the 25th wine and spirits store to open in a Cub Foods, and you can pick up everything from a 30-pack of beer to a bottle of Dom Perignon. Managers say adding a wine and spirits store to a Cub Foods is a good fit.
There's such a great relationship between food and wine, and that creates the ultimate experience. And we've been great at food for 50 years, and we're so excited to add wine to the family here in Crystal today.
The Cub Foods in Crystal underwent an extensive remodel this year, adding more space for ready-made food and a popcorn shop. Dockless bike sharing made its way to the metro this past year, and Golden Valley was one of the cities to jump on the bandwagon. But now that the suburb has had a few months to experiment with the concept, what does that mean for the future? We take a look. If you've driven through Golden Valley at any point in the last few months, chances are that you noticed lime green bikes scattered throughout the city.
At the height, there were about 50 bikes that were deployed throughout the city.
LimeBike formally debuted in Golden Valley in July after the city partnered with the company on a pilot project. For those unacquainted with the program, it's a dockless biking system where people can look for a bike using an app on their phone and unlock it by paying a fee.
They're available for people to make short trips, maybe the last mile from a transit stop to a destination. They're really an additional or an alternative mode of transportation for people to utilize.
Mark Novinsky says the bikes received heavy usage in the summer months, and when Lime scooters debuted in September, they were also a big hit. Yet any new concept has its growing pains. The city heard concerns about bikes blocking sidewalks or ending up in neighboring cities that didn't have a direct relationship with LimeBike.
Really, I think as time has gone on, that concern has not been a big one.
Novinsky says that overall, the bikes were well received by the public. The city council felt the same way.
I would like to continue to experiment and run sort of another pilot program through 2019 and see what it looks like when we have a full year of use.
The plan is to eventually collect enough data to determine what role bike sharing will play in Golden Valley for years to come.
Because Golden Valley is a first-ring suburb, we've got a lot of parks, we've got good trails, we have a lot of amenities. This is an asset that definitely can work in Golden Valley.
The city says next year's deployment could feature more scooters and electric assist bikes. This year's collection of bikes should be collected by LimeBike by the end of November. Students at a Brooklyn Park school today traded their classroom thinking caps for hairnets. Students at Maranatha Christian Academy had a big and important objective: try to assemble 30,000 meals for families in need in the Twin Cities. The school has made it an annual event. All 700 students at the school take part. Everyone from 3- and 4-year-olds in pre-kindergarten all the way up to high school seniors formed an assembly line to put together the meals. The students come away with increased awareness about hunger and those less fortunate.
We have families in Minneapolis and St. Paul right now that are making decisions whether they should pay their utility bill or feed their family. And so this is a great way for our students to become aware of a need in the community and really make a difference in the community.
This is the 6th year Maranatha has done this particular outreach effort. Over the years, Maranatha students have assembled more than 100,000 meals that go to local food shelves. Still ahead on CCX News, hear from some of the performers of Maple Grove High School's fall musical. Plus, the Wayzata girls hockey team continues its hot start with another big win. But first, a chilly weekend with temperatures falling into the teens Saturday into Sunday. There's a new health club in Maple Grove, but not the kind you may be thinking of. Health Partners offers a club at the Park Nicollet Maple Grove Clinic and Specialty Center.
It's called the Community Health Club, and it's a group of patients that we help get together, and we help them do what they want to do. So it can be anything from a community garden to a walking club to watching a TED Talk and then discussing it afterwards.
Thursday night's program focused on using crafting to bring down stress levels. The club's focus is on building relationships and activities all aimed at promoting healthier living.
I saw a card out in the lobby when I had an appointment here, and I decided, it said, stress, come and craft, and it's like, that's right up my alley. We've had a lot of medical care at our house in the past 2 months, so we've been kind of trapped at home, and I said, I'm getting out.
You can find out more about the club by visiting their Facebook page at Maple Grove Healthcare Group. Well, this is the final weekend for you to catch Maple Grove Senior High's performance of their fall musical. In today's weekend showcase, Neil Persley gives us a sneak peek of Tuck Everlasting.
Tuck Everlasting is based on a 1975 children's novel by Natalie Babbitt.
And it opened on Broadway in 2016. And we are one of the first high schools in the country to get rights to do it.
Spreading the word about the fair.
When the fair comes to town each year, it draws people from miles around, including our two main characters.
I play Winnie Foster. She's an 11-year-old in 1893 New Hampshire, and she's kind of been trapped in her house since her father died. She doesn't have much freedom, and she just wants to see the world. She just wants to live her life. She just wants to go on adventures. And she meets this family who has all that. They get to go on adventures all the time because they're immortal. So when she meets them, it's like the time of her life.
So I play Jessie Tuck, who is the youngest member of the Tuck family. He is 17 years old, and when he drinks the water, he's stuck at that age forever. And so he really is into adventuring. He does all sorts of stuff. He likes to climb trees and go and see different places of the world. And his family is kind of stuck in the past.
The story is intriguing and the students do a great job. From the actors to the orchestra seated behind the magnificent open stage, the performance is magnetic and holds your attention.
Tuck Everlasting is a great show to bring your whole family to. It's based on a book that was written for young adults, so it's actually a page-to-stage situation and really digs into what the original narrative was. So you could go and read the book and come see the musical and see the same thing come to life.
Rated M for magical. I highly recommend Maple Grove Senior High's rendition of Tuck Everlasting. For a weekend showcase from Maple Grove, Neil Persley, CCX News.
Well, Tuck Everlasting is on stage tonight, Friday, and Saturday night at the Maple Grove Senior High Theater. Showtime is 7 p.m. Still ahead, a celebration of art in Plymouth. But first, local adapted soccer teams aim for state titles this weekend. John Jacobson is in next.
The Wayzata girls hockey team brings back a lot of talent from a team that won 19 games last season. The Trojans are ranked 5th in the state and are off to a good start. Chaska-Chan visiting the Trojans Thursday at the Plymouth Ice Center. Great play here by Wayzata's Casey Johnson, intercepting a pass, and the junior forward skates into the Stormhawk zone. She'll beat goalie Olivia Rinzel, and it's 1-0 Trojans in the first period. It stays that way for a long time. Late in the second, Alexa Ossel's shot tipped in by Sophie Urban, and Wayzata has a 2-0 lead. 43 seconds later, the Trojans strike again. Number 14, Sophie Heyer, feeds Maddie McCollins, a nice backhander by the senior, and it's 3-0 Wayzata after 2. And they really opened the game up in the third period. Gretchen Branton to Sloan Matthews, who shoots and scores. That's a shorthanded goal, and the Trojans are up 4-0. Nice give and go on this goal. Osseo to Branton and back to Osseo for her 5th goal of the year. Wayzata scores 4 goals in the third period. They win 7-0. The Trojans have now scored 25 goals in just 3 games.
We just have really talented scorers, and we're getting good passes. We're really speedy getting to the net. You know, it's really fun, and we're just having a great time. When they start rolling, they start rolling. We're getting the opportunities, and it's starting to come together here, keeping forwards high to come back to the D and, you know, burying them when we get the chance.
Wayzata will be tested Saturday night when they face second-ranked Blake at the Tria rink in St. Paul. The state adapted soccer tournaments are getting started Friday evening in Stillwater. As Jay Wilcox reports, one local team is hoping a superb regular season will carry into the tournament.
To say it was a pretty good regular season for the Robbinsdale Hopkins Mound Westonka PI Division soccer team is a huge understatement. The Robins are 9-0, outscoring their opponents 102-4.
We have played really well this year. We're fortunate that we have a lot of depth of students and athletes, and so we've been able to mix up their positions throughout the season, and we have a lot of variety of talent, so we've had a really successful season.
It's a relatively compact season, but there's been noticeable improvement for the Robins from day one until now.
It's been very well. I've enjoyed it, and we've been progressing from the season. When it started, we started off slow, but we've started pretty well. We're doing pretty well. I feel pretty good going into state.
Well, for us on defense side, ever since the first practice up until now, the less goals have been getting past us, and for our fellow teammates, they managed to score more. And the passing's getting good too.
The Robins won 7 state titles in a row from 2008 through 2014, but they've been runner-up the past 3 seasons in soccer. That provides some incentive.
I think our team is much faster from last year. We've got some new players, and so I'm excited to see what they can do in state and under pressure. So.
They are very motivated. I know we were a favorite last year, and we kind of fell apart in the champion game. So we have some players who are ready to take it back and they want that title.
Looks like the Robins are aiming for a return to the top this weekend. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
If the Robins win their quarterfinal round game Friday, they'd play in the semifinals Saturday morning at 10:30 with the title game at 2:30 at Stillwater High School. Park Center and Anoka Hennepin are also in the PI Division tournament, while defending champion Park Center is back in the CI tournament. State champions will be crowned on the final day of the girls swimming and diving season Friday. The Class AA finals are Friday evening. This is footage from section championship meets. Wayzata has a strong contingent at the meet and should be in the mix for a team title. Hopkins, Armstrong, and Maple Grove also have multiple state qualifiers. We'll have highlights of the Class AA finals Monday on Sports Jam and here on CCX News. That's all for sports. Delane, back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Up next, a gift-giving idea for art lovers, where you can find some cool works of art made by local artists when we come back. Finally, a celebration of art and perhaps a new art piece for your home. More than 30 local regional artists have their work on display this weekend at the Plymouth Arts Fair. It's held at the Plymouth Creek Center. There's a wide range of paintings as well as glassware and jewelry. You can bring the entire family if you want to go, as there's a special activity area for the kids on Saturday from 11 until 1. Talented musicians will also perform throughout the two-day event, which runs Saturday from 10 till 5 and again on Sunday from 11 until 4. The event is free unless, of course, you want to buy some of those art pieces. Well, that's all the news for now. Thank you for joining us. We will see you back here again tomorrow at 4. But in case you missed it earlier this week, we have some photos from the New Hope photo contest. Enjoy.